Oh, hey friends! With the 4th of July upon us, I figured it might be fun to look at a suitably patriotic picture to fit the occasion. And so I came up with this gem from 1972, a film adaptation of the musical 1776. Our story goes like this. The year is 1776 and the Continental Congress is meeting in Philadelphia, but nothing is getting done, and our hero, John Adams, is pretty mad about it. Although a year since the battles of Lexington and Concord, with General Washington and the Continental Army already engaging the Redcoats, Congress delays. The question Adams wants raised is that of independency for the colonies, but factions within the Congress have stymied debate on the subject. Southern colonies have not had to deal as much with the oppressions King George has inflicted upon Massachusetts, Adams' home colony, and the rest of the northern colonies. And so the Congress is divided between the colonies which favor independence and those who prefer the status quo. Adams, Franklin, and Jefferson must convince their congressional colleagues that since war is already being waged on America, declaring independence from Great Britain is the only answer. While some delegates are intractable, others might be swayed over, and despite all of the setbacks, roadblocks, and problems that arise through clever maneuvering and convincing arguments, Adams and his friends push for the cause of independency. In our cast, we have a few familiar faces. Henry De Silva plays Benjamin Franklin as a humorous and avuncular figure, yet one with a brilliant mind and steely strength when pushed. It really is a fine performance. Ken Howard has a nice turn as a very credible Thomas Jefferson. Blythe Danner appears as his newlywed wife. John Callum, who you may recall from Northern Exposure, he plays Edward Rutledge, a Southerner in opposition to independency. And of course, there's William Daniels as John Adams. That's right, Kit from Knight Rider. You ever want to hear Kit singing? Well, now's your chance. Daniels really carries this thing. Adams is a pivotal role, just as he was in real life. The film employs a somewhat surreal device to allow Adams to converse with his wife Abigail, who is minding their farm back home. They have dialogue which is based on the famous letters the couple sent to one another. It pretty much works. Okay, so this is a musical. It has a good share of humor. Some events and characters are compressed or combined, and all of the other things one might expect in any retelling of true events. But even so, underneath all of that, it gives you a real sense of what the concerns and the subsequent debates were like. So, what about the music? Is that any good? Hell yeah! Some of the songs are jaunty, some are funny, some are sweet, even poignant. You'll find yourself humming some of these tunes for sure. There was one number that wound up getting cut from the film. It was Cool, Considerate Men, which kind of lays out the sentiments of the conservative delegates opposed to independence. It was 1972, remember, and it was felt by studio execs that the song might piss off Richard Nixon. Well, piss on Richard Nixon. It's a good number which has since been restored to the film. We all know how the story turns out, but this film gives us an insight into how American independence came into being and how the Declaration of Independence was finally arrived at. Why does it contain some things and not others? What were the concerns of the opposition? what was originally in the first draft of the Declaration and how and why the founders had to make pragmatic compromises to get the thing passed. Today, we see the Founding Fathers cast in bronze or carved in marble, and talk show guys and politicians are always braying about the Founding Fathers, the Founding Fathers. So they seem remote and distant to us today. All of this makes it hard to see them as actual human beings, which is what they were. This play and the film helps us see them as real people without all those lofty trappings. As such, the Founding Fathers become accessible. This is hands down one of my favorites, so I gotta give 1776 4 paws up. It's well directed, the music is great. As a subject for a musical play, 1776 was an unusual choice, even a bit of an oddity, but it works. Although it's history, it isn't dry and it isn't boring. If you want some insight into the factors which led to the Declaration of Independence, you could do far worse than starting here with 1776. Be sure to get hold of the director's cut, and you won't be sorry. You be careful with those fireworks, and I'll see you in the next one.